Before heading to the video, if you haven't subscribed the channel, do subscribe it and don't forget to click the bell icon for the latest update notification. If you like the video, do like, comment and share. Stay tuned with learnbay.co. Happy learning!
I'll start today's topic. Today's topic is box plot, whisker plot, and 5 number summary, which are nothing but they are just complements to each other. So we'll see how they work and how it can be used for the data analysis purpose. So our approach will be always we will first try to understand the theory and concepts, then we will do the manual calculations, manual solutions for the same thing, and then we will be seeing the codes, like how we can do it into the codes. So I hope all of you have seen this box plots into your Python classes, right? Anyone?
Yes, yes.
Yes. So if anybody wants to give any answer, like, okay, why we use box plots or what is the significance of box plot?
I Girish this side.
Yes.
Box plots are used basically to identify outliers.
Okay.
So they give quartile ranges,
Mm-hmm.
quartile 1, quartile 3,
Okay.
and they give median values as well.
Mm-hmm.
So there is outliers is 1:3 as well ratio. I don't
Mm-hmm.
remember.
Okay, so that is one of the feature for box plot. What else it does? Anybody knows or wants to answer?
Yeah, hi, Utkarsh, Irfan this side.
Mm-hmm.
So it will speak like how the data is spread
Okay,
around the median or mean, you can say.
okay. So correct. Okay, most of you are correct. Yes, that is how it happens. So uh, I'll also start box plot, and I'll also try to explain you like what it does, and we will see how we can find out all these things details, all these details. So a box plot summarizes the data using the median, upper and lower quartiles and the extreme values. Extreme values are least and greatest values. It is the minimum data value into your data set or maximum values into your data set. So it allows you to see important characteristics of the data at a glance. So important characteristics are basically how your data is spreaded, how your data is distributed. This is what you can see via the box plot or a whisker plot. So some book says it is, some book calls it as a whisker plot, few books call it as a box plot. So both are the same name. Whisker is because there are two horns coming out of your box, so those are called as whiskers, so that is why it is also called as whisker plot. So both are the same name for the same thing, do different name for the same thing, so don't be confused via the books, or if somebody is asking into an interview what is the whisker plot, it is the same thing whatever is the box plot is. So now box plot and 5 number summary. So 5 number summary is nothing but basically the numerical representation of your box plot. So in most of the time in statistics and machine learning, you will be having the concepts where you can quantify them or you can visualize them. So sometimes for the same similar kind of concept, you have visualizations available as well as you have numerical data available. Up to you which one you want to use. There is not really any uh, thumb rule that okay, you have to go with the quantified data or you have to go with the visualization. Whichever makes sense, whichever is easier to explain or easier to understand, that one you can choose. So now the box plot is also represented by the 5 number summary. The 5 number summary is another name for the visual representation of the box plot and whisker plot. The 5 number summary consists of median, first quartile, third quartile, maximum value in data set and minimum value of data set. So uh, does anyone know what is first quartile and third quartile in a box plot?
First,
Mhm.
20,
25% and 75% of the value.
Okay, so first quartile represent the 75%, third quartile represent the 75 percentile, and the first quartile represent the 25th percentile value. Second quartile represent the 50 percentile value into your data set, and finally the maximum value in your data set or minimum value into your data set. So, did they explain to you all these things into the Python classes,
No,
guys?
they said in statistics class it will be done in detail.
So this is the statistics class, right?
Yeah, so I think you need to explain this 25. What is the 25% of the data set? Can you explain again?
No, I'm asking from where you got to know 25 and 75.
In Python class,
That's what. So who taught you Python classes?
Ragini.
Ragini. Okay, cool. So, okay. So first quartile and third quartile. So basically, this is your 25th percentile value and your 75th percentile value. Median is basically 50th percentile value. Okay, so this is basically the 5 number summary into your data set. So does anyone know from where you can get the 5 number summary into your Python codes?
Dot describe method
Dot
on the
describe
data.
method. Correct. So describe method gives you the 5 number summary into the written form. So both of these things, box plots and your 5 number summary, are complement to each other. And what they do, they both of them are telling you the same thing, but one is the visualization format, another one is the your numerical format. So basically, if I'll draw it, your box plot onto that paint, so it looks like this. Okay, so you have something called as this kind of box plot. So now these things are called as whiskers. So these things are called as whisker. So that is why sometimes it is called as whisker plot. So this is represented as minimum value into your data set, maximum value into your data set. This is Q2, this is Q3, and this is Q1. Q1 is nothing but 25th percentile value, 50 percentile value, and this is your 75th percentile value. These are your extreme points, minimum and maximum. So basically Q1, Q2, Q3 represent the quartiles. Okay. So this is the visual representation. How now, if these numbers directly you will write into the numerical format, that will represent a 5 number summary. So both are same thing. Okay, so we'll see next. So this is how your box and whisker diagrams looks like. Okay, so lowest value, highest value, lower quartile, median, and upper quartile. Lower quartile and upper quartile are also called as Q1 and Q3. Median is also called as Q2. So this is basically the representation for your box plot, for your box and the marking of your box. So what I want you to do, you draw this box plot into your copies. So because when we will go into the numerical, so you will not be you can take the reference of that particular box. Can you draw it into your paint or anywhere wherever you are taking the notes? Or if you're not taking, then just make it into some paper, so you will be able to solve it later part. We have one numerical which you have to solve. So once you're done with the drawing, then let me know that okay, you have noted down.
So we can take print screen of this.
Yes, print. If you want to take print, you can take print. Anyways, I'll be sharing all these slides and everything with you. So as and how you are comfortable. So this thing should be available with you, and you will be solving the problem. So all of you are done with that. So I can go and scroll it down. Let me know, guys, when you are done. So I'll go into the next slide. So is everybody done with the drawing? Can anybody answer if you are able to hear? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
Prakash.
yes.
So please, you have to tell me, otherwise if how I'll go further. So please answer whenever I'm asking, because I don't know, because I'm not able to see, because we are into online mode. So let me know when
Sure.
once you are done. Okay. Okay. So I'll show you how to construct a box plot and whisker plot. So step one, suppose this is the data has been given to you. So take the set of number given, and what we will do, we will just arrange these numbers from least to greatest. So now whatever data is given, you have to arrange it from the least to greatest. Now once you have arranged it from least to greatest, now in this data, help me to identify which is the those 5 numbers you have to identify. So okay, so I'll just write it onto my paint, and let's try to develop a box plot. Hmm. So what are the numbers? 18, 27, 34, 42. So 18, 27, 18, 27, 34, 52, 54. Okay. Okay, just 1 second. What is the 34, 52? Just 1 second. Give me 1 second. Okay, now it's fine. 34, 52, 54. Okay. 32, 54, 52. Okay. 52, 50. Okay. 52, 54, 59. So this is 52, 54, and 39, 59, 61. So I'll note it down. 59, 61. Then 68, 78, 82. 68, 68, 78, 82. 78, 82, 85. Then what we will do, 87, 91, 93. 87, 91, 93, and another one is, your last one is 100. Okay, so now what happens once, first thing is take your data set. Second step is, in step one, what you will be doing, you will be arranging it into the least to greatest. So you will be ordering it. Once you have been ordering it, once you have ordered it, now what you have to do, you have to find out the 5 number summary. So 5 number summary is what? Your minimum value, your maximum value, your Q1, your Q2, and your Q3. These 5 values you have to identify. Now what is the minimum value in this data set?
18,
18.
And what is the maximum value?
100,
What is the 25th percentile value?
52.
Okay, so simple way to do it, this calculation, it's not a calculation, just a trick I am telling you. When you want to find out Q1, Q2, Q3, first you identify the center. So center is
68.
what? 68.
68.
Okay, so this is Q2. Now left hand side and right hand side middle value. So left hand side middle value is 52, right hand side middle value is I think 87. Okay, so this will give you Q1, this will give you Q3. So simple, 52, 68, and 87. So basically they represent the 25th percentile value into your data set. This represents the 75th percentile value into your data set. And this number represents the 50 percentile value into your data set. So basically what happens, this is called as 5-number summary. Okay.
Let's Girish this side again.
Yes.
If we are not getting a single digit, we take a average of two numbers for even numbers, right?
Sorry, I didn't get you. Single digit means?
Means we are getting 52 here and three numbers are 54, 55, 61, and on that side it is 18, 27, 32. So this is a odd number, so we got single digit 52. But if we are getting two digits like 52 and 54 in the middle, so we need to take average of that, right?
So that case we will discuss later. Okay. So now this is the 5-number summary. This is your box plot. Now how you will draw a box plot? Simply draw your box plot and mark all these values. So minimum value, maximum value, and your Q1, Q2, and your Q3. What is your minimum value? 18. Maximum value is 100, and then your 52 and 87, and this is sorry.
Q2 is 68.
Oh, sorry. Q2 is 68. Thank you for correcting me. And this will be your 52. Okay. So this is how you create a box plot. Okay. So this is basically, now this is basically 5-number summary, and this is your box plot. So basically both the things are representing the similar kind of thing. One represent the numerical formats, and one is again representing a visualizations. Okay. So which one you like, whichever is comfortable, whichever you are comfortable to look at, you can plot it. As such, there is no thumb rule which one you have to go with. I usually go with the visualizations because they are easier to understand, and they are easier to look at it. So that make more sense. Now till here everyone is clear how to create the box plot and how to create the 5-number summary, how you can find out the 5-number summary.
Yes.
Okay. So now second step is same thing. You have to find the median. Remember, the median is the middle value into the data set. 68 is the median of this particular data set. Now once you have identified median value, then the center value on left hand side, center value on right hand side will give you the quartile 1 and quartile 3 values. And apart from that, minimum and maximum are always easier to find out. So similarly, step 3 is find the lower quartile. Lower quartile will be the center value on left hand side, and then right hand side center value will give you the upper quartile, which is also called as 75th percentile value into your data set. And then finally step 5, you are finding out the minimum and maximum value. So I have changed these steps. I'm finding out as per my understanding, or as per my as it is easier. So up to you which value you want to find out first, but always if you will find out the median first, it will be always easier to understand. Okay, easier to find out Q1 and Q3 for you. So step 5 is you just create the 5-number summary. The interquartile range is the difference between upper quartile and lower quartile. Interquartile range we will discuss, just wait for some time. I'll go back to interquartile ranges into the next upcoming slide. So this is the basically 5-number summary which you have identified, which we have also created. Now the question which you asked, even numbered data set. Okay, so right now what is happening, basically here what is happening, if you will count the number 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 and 15. So 15 values. So when the number of values available into your data set are odd in nature, when that is an odd number, then finding out the center is very easy, because you have total 15 values. You select center, left hand side you will be having 7 values, and right hand side you will be having 7 values. So it is very easy to find out the center. Now suppose you are having the case such as shown here, where you have even number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now when you are having a even numbered data set, then to find out the mean, there is a different way. Now what you have to do, you have to find out the two center values. Then take those center values and take the average of it. 7 plus 8, 15 divided by 2, 7.5. Now this 7.5 you have to enter between 7 and 8. Once you will enter it, write it in between 7 and 8, what will happen? This data set will become odd number again. Once it will be becoming odd number, similar way you can calculate Q1, Q2, Q3 minimum and maximum. So for example, I'll just take one simple example, same example how you can do it. So basically, suppose you are having something 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 11 and 15 something. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Suppose I'm taking 16 and 19. Now what are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? So what are the two center values here?
8,
8
9.
and 9.
8 and 9. So simply take 8 plus 9 divided by 2. What is the value?
8.5.
How much?
8.5.
8.5. Now your new data set will become 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, 8.5, 9, 11, 15, 16, 19. Now it is simple. Min, max 19. Q1, Q2, Q3. Q2 is 8.5. Q1 is basically 5. Q3 is 15. Okay. So that is how you go and do it for the even numbered data set. Okay. So
it is not necessary that in box plot the median value may or may not be present in the data set.
no, median value will be never be present into your data set. You have to find it out.
So when it is an odd number in data set, it will be there in the data set itself. But when it is even, it will calculate, right?
Yes. See, it is not there. Again, we are finding it out. We are ordering the data and we are calculating and getting it. Your data is randomly arranged. You are arranging it and then you are searching for center value. It's just thing is you are not doing any calculation. So you are saying it is already given. No, you are finding it out. So that we are calculating in two different ways in both the cases. So now another concept is basically interquartile ranges. Okay, so interquartile ranges is nothing but upper quartile minus lower quartile. So Q3 minus Q1 will give you the interquartile range. Have you studied range function into Python?
Yes.
So what range function does?
It gives values between a given range.
Okay, so basically range function will tell you the maximum to minimum value into your data set. So you are defining two boundaries. Suppose you are writing 0, 100. So between 0 to 100, it will generate the numbers. So basically it identifies the range of your data, maximum minus minimum. Okay, so what is the minimum number into your data set and what is the maximum number of your data set? Range is a function to calculate that. Now similarly, we are having one more function which is called as your range function. Okay, so now range function is basically interquartile range function, IQR. So basically if this is my box plot Q2 Q3 and minimum and maximum, then range is basically maximum minus minimum. IQR or interquartile range is basically Q3 minus Q1. So basically interquartile range is nothing but this particular box. So whatever data is available into your box or whatever data is available between these two quartiles is represented by IQR. Okay, so now what is the significance of IQR and why we are calculating this interquartile range, all these things we will discuss into the upcoming classes. But basically this is the difference between the range and interquartile range. And if you want to calculate the range, just do Q3 minus Q1 simply. It will give you the interquartile range. Okay. So similarly here I have given range function. So what is range function? So this you can study. It is maximum minus minimum. Then first it is calculating for even number data set, the 5-number summary, which we already understood. This is the graphical representation, and these are again definitions. So all these things we have discussed. Now what I want you to do, you create the graph for this particular data set. So create a box plot and 5-number summary for this particular data set. And what you do, you click a picture on your mobile, probably you share it on the WhatsApp. Okay, so you throw it onto the box set. Okay, this is what you have drawn.
Okay.
And I will tell you what you have done wrong while creating that box plot. You can ping me personally that snapshot, or you can ping it onto the group as and how you are comfortable. And guys, one more thing. See, see, if you are making it wrong, or if you are giving wrong answer, that is fine. Okay, so no need to worry about that. Okay, if I might be answering wrong, or I might be drawing a wrong box plot, or it is not correct, or probably I didn't understand whatever he spoke to me. Probably yes, I need to understand back. So just ask me those kind of questions. I'll clear for you. And if you are see, what I want you to understand, I want to cultivate the habit of answering the speaking, basically. Because see, data science, what happens, lot of kind of things are concepts, and basically you have to you have to start discussing about them. Okay, there are lot of concepts, and all these concepts are having different definition with respect to the application part. So what I want you to do, think and answer, because see, if you're answering wrong, that is fine. That is why I am here. If you know already everything, then I am not needed. Yes, you are supposed to give the wrong answer. So my only request is, whenever I'm asking, just try to give the answer. So our session should be interactive, and then only I'll be able to correct you. If you will not answer anything and you will just say, yeah, whatever you taught is correct. Okay, so then I'll also not be able to get the gist, and you will also not be. So please always solve all the assignments and ask questions definitely into the class, and tell me wherever you are not understanding the things. So okay, I think many people has shared. Rushi has shared. Okay, Q1, Q2, Q3. 3, 11, 31 is not into the data set. It is 39. Correct it out, Rushi. Okay. If I'm not pronouncing your name correctly, let me know. So 50 and 99. Okay, this box plot is wrong. Okay, this one is wrong. Okay, this, let me check. 3, 11, 39, 61, 220, 3, 220, 11. Okay, this guy is Kishle. Okay, okay, Kishle has sent me. ठीक है, this is done. This is, huh? What is this? Who created this? Disha. This, no, wrong. This is wrong. Okay, Disha captain. Who is this? Okay, I don't know the name really. Some names are coming. Vinuta has created Q1, Q2, Q3. Okay. So see, I'm just replying for the plots which are totally wrong. The plots which are partially wrong, that I'm not answering, because okay, so Sabarish and Rahul and all of you have, Vinuta, so all of you have created correctly. 5-number summary and box plot. There is a small mistake in each of your design what you have created, which I have not also explained you, but you have to take care of all these things. So okay, one more guy has sent me, but there is a mistake into your box plots which I will explain. Okay, this looks good. Okay, so help me out to solve this. So let me take a new file. Okay, so see guys, first of all, you have directly drawn a box plot. That is wrong. You have to always mention the 5-number summary into details first. So you have to, whenever you are going into the interview, you have to properly design your box plot. Maximum, Q1, Q2 and Q3. You have to go like this. Now help me, what is the minimum value?
3,
Huh?
3.
3. Maximum?
220,
220. Q1?
11,
Q2?
39,
39. Q3?
61.
61. Okay, only one person is there who has written 5-number summary along with the box plot. So that is the perfect box plot as of now. I'm giving 9 out of 10 number for that. One number why I'm cutting, I'll explain you now. I think probably my mistake also, I have also not explained you, but you have to take care of that. Now help me drawing box plot. So this is a box plot. Now you have to properly mark the values here. You have to write minimum, Q1, Q2, Q3 and maximum. See this, whatever I'm showing you, this is how you have to draw into the, exactly this is how you have to draw into the interview. When interviewer is asking what is box plot, rather giving definitions, you explain, okay, there is a 5-number summary, Q1, Q2, Q3, whatever, and then draw the box plot in this way only. Whenever you are solving, draw it into the this way. Only I think one person has done it in this way. 3, 220 and 39, 61, 11. Is this how everybody has done?
Yes.
Right? Correct? Okay, so there is a mistake. Now, if you will draw a box plot in this way for each and every data set, this box plot will look same. Now, what you have to do, you have to make use of scale. Okay, pardon me for the these kind of lines. I'm taking a scale 0, 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 180, 210, and 230 and 260. Up to you. You want to take 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 0 to 5, up to you. I am taking just 30, 30. So now I'll draw the same box plot and I'll tell you what is the mistake. Now first I need to identify 39. 39 will be coming somewhere here. Okay. Now I need to identify 61. 61 might be coming somewhere here. Then 11, 11 probably coming somewhere here. Now 3 will be coming somewhere here. Now 220 will be coming somewhere here. Now minimum Q1, Q2, Q3, and this is your maximum value 3, 11, 39, 61, 220. So this is the correct box plot. So the box plot which you have drawn, this one is wrong box plot. This is the correct box plot. So you have to always make sure that you are using a scale while you are drawing any kind of box plot. 5-number summary is fine. 5-number summary is okay, because what will happen if you will not use the scale, then each and every box plot you will draw, it will be always looking like the same. Then what is the point of visualization? I will not be able to visualize how my data is distributed. Okay. Now the data basically which is coming, this 220 and all that, which the data which is coming with the long whiskers are generally treated as a outliers, for which we will discuss into the next few minutes. So is this thing clear to everyone?
Yes.
So what's the mistake and how you have to use? Now how much scale I should took, it is up to you, totally depending on up to you. So probably if my data set range is between suppose 0 to 1000, so probably I'll take, okay, 0, 100, I'll take a scale like 100, then 200, 300. So as and how, as per data, you decide what is the scale you want to use. So it will give you the better visualizations and better understanding. Okay, but remaining things you have done correctly. There is no other thing. So this is basically all about your box plots and your whisker plots or your 5-number summaries. Okay, so this is the one topic which we have finished. Now I want to discuss about few of the things into the box plot part. Okay, so before I'll close this topic completely, so I'll draw a box plot. Okay, so I'll draw a box plot. Okay, so okay, now sorry, Q1, Q2, Q3, maximum and minimum. Okay, now first of all, can anybody tell me, like, okay, why we are calculating here median? Why not mean? Does anybody know this?
Because in case of outliers, the mean will be skewed to the right or left. So we need a middle value.
Okay.
That's why.
Okay, so correct answer. So because in case of mean, your values will be skewed. So why they will be skewed in case of mean and why not in case of median?
Because
mean
consider
takes
all
every
the
value in account.
Sorry, mean takes?
Mean takes every value in the data set into account. So divides by the number of values in the data set, and median is the middle value. So
Yes.
it won't be affected by outliers.
Okay, so right, so I'll just try to explain to the other people who doesn't know. Simple example I'll take. So for example, okay, so suppose I have one data set, suppose like this, or suppose this is the data set. Okay, and suppose this is the one value which is missing. Suppose this is your data set. So now, what do you think, what should come into this missing place?
5.
5.
Yes. So one way is you directly see the data and decide, okay, what value should come. Okay, so that is one way. Another way is I can calculate the average of the all the values and probably I can fill it up here. So now what happens, another case, I'll calculate the average of all the data given to me, and the whatever is average value will be coming, 5 will be the average for this data set. So you can fill the 5 as a value. Now now tell me, I'm adding one more value into my data set. Now in this case, sensibly, what value I should fill into the missing part?
Still 5.
Why you are saying still 5?
Because it is the most occurring value.
Most occurring value. Okay, now what happens, this is the reason also why we choose median over mean. Now what happens if I will, so now right now there are 3 techniques into statistics to fill it. Mean, median, and another method is mode. So right now you are going via the mode method. You are saying, okay, most frequently occurring method value is basically mode here. So I will be just directly filling it with the mode value. Now what happens in this case, if you will try to take the mean, so now because of 1000, the mean value will be way beyond 5. Probably you will get mean value as more than 5, suppose 25, 30 or something bigger number you will be getting. So now filling up that bigger number will affect your overall data set representation. Actually, if I'll ask you can you tell me what is your data representation or which numbers are representing your data? Probably you will say, okay, 5 is basically the representer of my data. So now this 1000 is basically affecting my overall data representation if I'm using the mean. But if I'm going with the median value, then median will be just directly, it will be selecting, you will be arranging the data into the smallest to biggest, and you will be just taking the center value, which will be a median value. So median is basically a sensible decision here to go with, and another reason is median is not affected via the outliers. So outliers are the values which actually affects the overall center of your data set. So center is basically average. Okay, so which basically affect your average values, which actually affect your true average values into your data set, are considered as a outlier. So generally these outliers are represented via these whiskers, and sometimes there are dots outside these whiskers. Whatever values are coming are represented as a outlier values. So suppose again I'm going on to another example, 5, or suppose 5. So what is the if I ask you, give me one number which is the proper representation of representative of this data, that number will be 5. How I can calculate? Basically average. So average will give you the center, median also give you the center, and mode also gives you the center. So basically these statistics, mean, median, mode, they actually represent the center of your data set. So what is the center of my data set, or how my data set can be represented via the single entity. Okay, so now what happens, suppose if I'm adding one more value here, 1000. Now if I'll add 1000, probably my center will become 250 if I'll take average. Now the numbers which are affecting the overall center, actual center, true center of your data set, so those kind of numbers are called as outliers, because what happens is still majority of the numbers are belonging to the range of 5, but because of this one bigger number, my overall center is getting affected. So now this is where their picture concept of IQRs comes. So now what happens, if I have this kind of data set, I'll arrange it into the 5,5 into smallest to biggest. Now rather considering the range of data, what I'll do, I'll just consider the IQR. IQR is the data between Q3 and Q1. Now what happens, IQR is generally containing this is the theory from the statistics given by the statistician, that basically the data contains into the IQR region. The data available into the IQR region is actually the representative of your overall data. So even though if you are not considering whole data from minimum to maximum, still you can represent properly your data just by taking the values available into the interquartile range region. So this is where interquartile range significance comes into picture. And in this way, box plot, suppose if your data contains outliers, so what it is suggested, so whenever you are going for any model building part, so whenever there will be outliers, the problem will come that okay, your model will not be able to get the high accuracies. Now what will happen, they suggest rather consuming whole data, you find out the interquartile range and you take that interquartile range data and you build the model, because it will automatically remove the effects of outliers. Okay, so did you get what I'm trying to make you understand? Is any question there? If all of you are okay, then I'll go on to the next thing. Okay, so this is basically the significance of your interquartile ranges. Okay, now question for you guys. Okay, so suppose I have given you a CSV file. So for example, I'll just open one simple CSV file. Suppose this is the CSV file. So this is the CSV file. Okay, so I have this data available. Now this is the data. Now in this data, suppose via using Python or R, whichever language you like, you need to from this CSV you have to give me the data which is belonging from the interquartile range. How you can give it to me? How you will do it, and how you will give me the data which belongs to interquartile range from a CSV file?
You can find the describe method, and
Okay.
that will give you a series, and then you can with the location accessor, lock accessor, you can like subtract Q3 and Q1, then you will get it.
Okay, you are correct, but we will not subtract it. Basically, what we will do, basically, I am asking, I want the data which is belonging between the IQR region, which is available within the IQR region. So what I can do, basically, I can use describe function. Describe function will give me Q1 and Q3 values. Now take these Q1 and Q3 values, write a if and else function where, okay, if the data is greater than this number and the data is lesser than this number, just create one data frame with all those values which are lying between Q1 and Q3. So simply you can collect the data between the IQR ranges. So when we will go into the further hands-on and other classes, we will see how to do that. So yeah. So
Utkarsh,
yes.
one question. We reach this side again. So when we plot box plot, it will give 5-point summary for each feature, right?
Right.
So what feature to plot, that we have to decide, not for the whole data it can plot.
Yes.
Okay. For every feature there will be a box.
Suppose you are having one feature, gender, male, female, male, female, male, female. So for this you cannot plot a box plot.
Yes, so that was my question.
So box plots can be only plotted for the numerical data, cannot be plotted for categorical data. Okay. Now suppose
but we can convert categorical data to numerical data.
okay, so I have converted into 0 1 0 1 0 1. Can you plot it now?
I think we can plot this.
No, you cannot plot for this data. So this is just the encoding you have done 0 1 0 1 0 1. It is the binary representation of your data. So for categorical data, in any way we can't plot.
We won't
box
code
plot.
this it like this, right? We need to use some different coding.
Different coding is what, for example? So I'll
For example,
use,
we can
okay,
take some
for example,
probability.
1 2 1 2 1 2. Okay, I'm coding like
Not
this.
like this, not like this.
Okay.
I'm saying we can take some ratios and use
Okay,
another
I'm
feature.
taking probability 0.95, 0.85, 0.95, 0.85. Now can you calculate?
You are using the same thing. I'm saying we can use another feature for
Please
this.
tell me.
Another feature we can make use, and
No,
we can
for
calculate
this feature I'm asking.
Single feature we cannot do because we may need to use another feature as well.
Single feature we can't do means?
For single feature it will be difficult to code. to code and then plot.
So we always box plot, the whole fund of box plot is you are plotting it for a single feature only at a given time. You never plot box plot for multiple features together. You are saying I will be having one more column available and I'll club these two and I'll do something and I'll
And
then
I'll
plot the
create
box
a
plot.
new feature. Yes, we'll create a new
That is wrong. We don't do like that. Okay.
I've seen that somewhere. We calculate a probability by dividing and creating a new feature and then plotting it.
Then probably they are doing something else. Your understanding is wrong.
Maybe.
Probably because that cannot be possible. Because you try to understand what is the range of probability.
0 to 1.
0 to 1. So there itself concept will go for a toss. Okay, so it will always generate the data. So that is, they might be doing it for something else. You would have understand it wrongly, or probably you share with me that article or slide or some video where you have seen that. So probably
Yes, I was seeing some feature engineering videos maybe.
feature engineering is different. This is exploratory data analysis. Okay.
Yeah, when we are filling for non-values, they were doing something like
So missing values filling up can be possible via different methods, but I'm just I just want to understand, like, where you have seen where categorical data they are plotting the box plot. So
Sure.
it's not possible really. Okay, so for box categorical data, we generally go with the different sort of visualizations. So has they covered for you this Titanic case study?
Yes,
Huh?
Ragini
So
had used.
yeah, Ragini. So Titanic case study, if you will see, what they are doing, they basically for male and female they plot the bar charts, right? So how many males survived, how many females died, they plot some sort of bar charts, some sort of pie charts. So that you have to do with the categorical data. So categorical data, it is, we really can't go and plot any box plot kind of thing. So now next question which I wanted to ask you, so suppose female, male, female, and suppose and female and male. Now here how you will fill the this missing value in this case?
Most occurred.
Again, most occurred.
Correct. So here
Imbalanced data it can create.
both mean, median are useless. Here the best used matrix is mode.
But it can create imbalanced data.
Why it will create imbalance
If
data?
there are more females or more males.
So that is the data. Why it is imbalanced data? For
So we
finding
need
filling out your missing value, we actually want imbalanced data, right? Because suppose you have 50 values male.
So we need to use smart function for that. I read that.
Yeah, I don't know from which YouTube channel or Udemy you are studying. Just listen, just undo whatever you have studied till now. Let's just go from via my concepts. Okay, and don't jump into smart and all that. You are confusing with the concept. Just undone whatever you have studied. Just see what I am telling and whatever I am teaching. Okay, whatever I am telling, just try to understand, is it logically making sense or not? If you feel it is logically not making sense, then yes. Otherwise, if it is making logically any sense, then you go with me. Okay, so basically now anybody whoever wants to give the answer right or wrong, it is fine. Now interview question, I'm telling you what they usually ask from this topic in an interview. They ask what is box plot, okay, and sometimes they ask, okay, how you will fill the missing values via using data. Another thing they ask, basically what is outlier. Another thing they ask, okay, which is the best metric for filling up the missing value. So this is most important question which I have heard into the interviews, which they usually ask. So which one is the most important metric when you want to fill the missing value? So what do you think, what is the most important value metric? Mean, median, or mode?
It
Mean.
depends, Kushal, because we don't know which one has to be, selected at that particular time. I mean, what sort of data we will have. So it depends.
So how it depends? Can you explain? Yes. Hmm.
For example, if like this is a categorical data, right? We go
Right.
with the mode. We cannot go
Okay.
with the mean. But
Okay.
if, for example, there's a numerical data, we can go with the mean because it actually includes all the number. So that
Yes.
will be better. If there's outlier, then we go with the median.
Yes. So perfect answer. This is how you have to explain. Okay. And after giving this answer, if you want, you can add, okay, it depends. It depends on to the data to data application of data, which particular metric I will be using. Because what happens whenever I am having outliers available into my data, I'll go with the median values because medians are not affected via the outliers. Whenever I am having non-outlier data, I can go either with median or with mean, both the cases. If I am having categorical data available, in those cases I will be going with the mode. Okay, so mode, usually in numerical data we never prefer mode to be used because mode can misunderstood the data because it just go which is the frequently occurs. So suppose all the data values are unique out of 1000, only 2 values are same, so it will just give that 2 values as center value. So sometimes we avoid mode to be used into the numerical data. Generally we don't use it, we always go via the median. And so this is how it depends on application part. So never ever try to tell in one liners all these kind of concepts into interview. Try to explain always with the reasoning behind it. And many times what I have seen when I'm taking interview, when I'm asking which is the best metrics, people are directly telling me, okay, this is median. Median is the best metrics. So why median is the best metrics? Because they told me on Udemy. So you should always give your answers which make sense for the interviewer, which are logical into the sense, and then only you will be able to impress the interviewer. Okay, this guy knows the things actually. So, and never ever try to give the answers without thinking. Just think for 2 minutes and then give the answer. If you can use copy paper, pen paper, that will be best, and justify in this way. So very nice answer, Rahman. If I forgot your name. Irfan or Rahman, something is the name, right? Irfan. So correct, good answer, right answer. And other person who has given, that is also correct, that okay, yes, it depends. So at least I'm happy you have not told me that median is the best metrics. So it depends also correct, but when you are saying it depends, always try to explain the fundamental behind it, why it depends. Okay, so this is the way we should go. Another question which is coming into from boxplot area is what are interquartile ranges? So do you want to give any answer? What are interquartile ranges? Anyone? So apart from these two people, anybody else wants to give the answer? What are interquartile ranges?
Higher quartile minus lower quartile.
Okay. Suppose I would have explained you when you would have asked what is IQR Q3 minus Q1. So will you be able to understand? So again, you have to explain. So that is why I'm asking you, all of you, start giving answers. Because if you will not give answers, then I will not be able to improve your skills. Okay. I just don't want to teach you. I really want to start making you understand how to perform into an interview and how to talk. So Irfan, you want to try what is interquartile ranges? Some syntactical format, can you tell me? Okay, to a layman terms. Okay, how you will explain to a layman who doesn't know what is statistics, what is IQR?
75 percentile minus 25.
It removes the outlier.
Yes. It removes the outlier. Okay, IQR. 1 point about IQR. Anything else?
Where your 50% of the data lies.
Okay, it's not 50%, it is 68%. Now why it is 68%? For that you have to wait for tomorrow's class. I'll explain you, because now we will be connecting this box plot with the normal distribution. So for now it's not 50%, it is more than that. Why? That we will discuss tomorrow. Anything else about IQR can we think of and can we give definition?
I'm Somadeep here. I guess that It is actually the most likelihood range where sample data
Perfect.
may.
Okay, I reform this sentence, correct. Instead of likelihood, what I'll say, it is basically the most relevant data into your whole data set, which actually contribute into the center value of your overall data. Okay, so that is one thing. What else? Okay, one person told it is basically avoiding the risk of outlier. So what IQR does, IQR will be basically giving you a range where outliers will be removed. So only the proper data, pure data you will be getting, which is actually the major representative of data. That is another definition. Now finally you can give the formula IQR is equal to Q3 minus Q1, upper quartile minus lower quartile will give you this range. But see guys, why see, I'm correcting you because see these are the problem where where in interview you have to perform, because multiple times this happens with me. I went into one interview, and in that, so I went into this interview AMD. Okay, so AMD guy, this guy, he told me he was a director. Okay, he was a director into embedded systems or something, and he told me explain a box plot to a layman. Okay, and he gave me marker and pen. That was the best thing happened there. So he told, you explain a box plot to a layman. So I am a layman, I never understood what is box plot, and now you explain me how you will explain it to me. So there you have to take examples, draw the box plots. Now if simply you will say ki box plot IQR is IQ3 minus Q1, then they might not be able to understand. Give these definitions which you have given. So whatever is your understanding, those definitions you give. Now what I want you to do again along with that, so for next few classes, whatever time we will be together, you start making your notes. So this week we have studied this much. So now see, some definitions you are inventing on your own which are correct as per your understanding. Make the notes out of it. Okay, so what I think that it is the most likely data, or it is the best data which is available, is represented by IQR. Okay, IQR give me the data which is basically not affected via the outliers. So these kind of points are correct, they are perfectly correct, they are not wrong. And try formulating your sentences in this way, rather giving a single line answer or single word answer. So again I am telling, we will be keep on learning in such a way where we will try to avoid single line answer, and we will always try to give the answers with respect to some fundamental logical concept. So that is how I am targeting. So will give you an edge into an interview where people are coming and directly answering okay this, and where you are answering like okay with the reasons, like this is where I will be going with mean, median and mode, all that kind of things. So yeah, so this is the thing about this IQR. Again we have to discuss more about it, but today I wanted to just discuss only box plot building, 5 number summary, and what are they. So with respect to IQR, 5 number summary, outliers, or this anything whatever we have discussed today, any question?
Can you explain when we will use mean again?
Mean we use when your data contains outliers. Sorry, when your data doesn't contains outliers. Sorry.
So when then we can use median as well.
Median is superior one. Median can work into the cases where outliers are there. It will work also where outliers are not there. So best is to safe side, you go with the median. So when in industry, when we work real time, we always go with the median values. But what happens for interview, you have to explain why we go for median value. So that is the reason why we go. Any question guys with respect to box plots and 5 number summary? If any data will be given to you, you will be able to create a box plot.
Yes.
Okay, so okay, I am giving you one data. Now how I taught you how to create using a scale. So I'm giving you one data set, you create a box plot for this. So suppose 110, 180, 170, 90 and 42. Okay, somebody has started sharing their screen and writing onto my screen. 89, 250, 900, 850, 67, 92. Create a box plot for this data. And share the snapshots. And our classes will be of 2 hours, guys. So 8 to 10. So today I'm not teaching much, but I'll be giving you a break at 9 o'clock when from now onwards. Not today, but next time onwards. Next week onwards, Monday onwards, not today. Tomorrow also I'll not give anything. Monday onwards, we will 8 to 9 we will study. 9 to 9:15 or up to 9:20 we will take a break, and then again we will study till 10 o'clock. So this is how we will do, and we will try not to run. We'll try to cover concepts as slowly as we can do, not too slow because sometimes it feels boring. Accordingly we will go. And what is my request to each and every person is how Girish, Irfan, Rahul and few people are actively answering the questions. Either if that is wrong or right, please contribute like that. Okay, then only I'll be able to correct you. And again I'm saying I'm not expecting any time, any day, any correct answer from you. The day you will start giving correct answer, then this guy Krishna will remove me from the institute. Okay, and he will hire you. So please, you are supposed to give the wrong answers, so don't worry about that. And I want the sessions to be interactive. Okay, so it's okay, today is first day, but next time onwards just be interactive and ask the questions. It's okay if 10 people understood, you didn't understood, ask the question, ping me personally. Okay, I got difficulty in understanding, I'll try to see what I can do. So I want you to go in that way. Okay, this guy has sent me the output. Okay, let me check. Okay. Okay. Guys, okay, you have done that. It's even number. So you have calculated, and finally you have find out 5 number summary. Okay, yes. So Kishle, yes, correct. But again, Kishle, problem into your whatever you have done is you have not taken the scale. Without drawing the scale, you cannot identify if that is correct or wrong. So your box plot which you have plotted is wrong. Okay, it is not correct. It is incorrect box plot. So correct it out and again send it to me. Or this Girish has sent me. Girish, okay, Girish's one is correct. So take reference from this particular snap which Girish has sent. It is correct. Rushi has sent. Rushi has minimum, maximum. Yes, yours is correct. Correct. Okay. Only Kishle, you have to correct it, and other people don't want to share. It's fine. Okay.
So she has misunderstood. I think she has taken 215 as a value. I can't find it.
215, yeah, probably she has, or probably I have written improperly. So 215 she has taken from after 200. I think 250 she has taken as 215.
Yes.
Okay, it's fine. Just correct it out. 250, that is the value 250, but her box plots is correct. So okay. So guys, not everybody is sending me, but okay. So yes, so that is what correct box plot drawing. So I can also create here minimum, maximum, Q1, Q2 and Q3. So help me finding it out. What is minimum?
42.
42. Maximum
900.
Q1
67.
67. This is 101, right? And Q3
250.
250. Now what you have to do, you have to take an scale. So now 900 is the mark. So 0 to 100, 200. I'll write 300, then 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1000. Okay. Now first we will draw 101. So 101 is lying somewhere, suppose here. Q1 is 67 lying somewhere here. And this Q3 is 250 is lying somewhere here. So this is one thing. And minimum is basically 42, very small whisker. And then you're up to 900. So 900. So now see, the best part is now box plot can directly show you. So can you tell me which value you will consider as an outlier here in this box plot? Which values you will consider?
900 and 850.
Sorry.
900 and
850. So this is the best thing about the box plot. So these visualizations are showing you the whisker, and this whisker will actually give you like what is the outliers existing into your data and what is your relevant data. So this is where they comes into picture. And what happens, we plot this kind of box plot for all the features, and what we try to understand, if we are getting the whiskers, long whiskers, that means there is an outlier available, and then we need to do the outlier cleaning. We need to remove the outliers. So another interview question. So what are outliers and what is the significance of outliers, and what should we do for the outliers? How to treat the outliers? So can somebody try answering this? What are outliers, what is significance, and what we should do with them?
We should remove them.
Okay.
But like if we are going with medium, I don't think so we should remove also. It depends actually also, like should we include or not?
Okay, as of now whatever we have studied, correct, but now what happens, you need to remove going forward, because what happens, your model consumes all data. Now this box plot techniques and 5 number techniques actually developed to identify outliers and remove them, so your model will be only consuming the relevant data. So this
Yes.
outlier data, it won't be consuming. So I'll simply give you an example. Okay, so simple example I will give you. Let's try to understand. Suppose number of year of experience, work experience, and your salary. Okay, now your experience is 2 years, 2 years, 3 years, 3 years. Okay, salary is basically 2 lakhs, 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs, 3 lakhs, 3 lakhs, 3 lakhs, and this is 2 lakhs. So suppose this is your data. Okay, so see, machine learning models are nothing but they are actually trying to mimic your brain. Now this is the data which I am showing you. Okay, now I'm asking you one question. What is the salary of a 2-year experienced person? What should be the salary?
2 lakh,
2 lakh. And for 3-year experienced person?
3 lakh.
3 lakhs. How much confident you are that this analysis is correct? How percentage can you give me? How much percentage you are confident that whatever you are telling is correct on the basis of given data, given evidence?
100%.
95%.
100% accuracy. Okay, now I'm adding one more observation. 2-year experience and salary is 20 lakh. Now what should be the salary of a 2-year experienced person here?
Then they said there's exception here.
2 lakh.
Okay, I'll still say 2 lakhs.
Still 2.
Correct. Why I will say 2 lakhs? Because what happens, majority of the data is telling my salary is 2 lakh. Now how much confident I am?
95%.
Now probably 95 or 92%, or whatever, you have to calculate how many are wrong. Now what is happening? Now can I say this is an outlier?
Yes.
Basically, now what is my model or my brain or my biological neural network is saying, sir, I went into your data. Or for example, we will take the example of our class. So in our class, okay, I spoke to each and every person. Okay, what is your experience and what is your salary? Each and every person told me my experience is 2 years and my salary is 2 lakh. So now what is happening? One person, okay, Irfan told me my experience is 2 years, but my salary is 20 lakhs. Now what is happening? Next time, as a model or as a biological neural network, I am able to generalize and I am able to make the relationship between these two variables for each and every person available into the class, experience with respect to salary. But this one person, Irfan, I am not able to understand. Yeah, how come everybody is 2-year experience and earning 2 lakhs, and how come this guy is having 20? So now that is a problem. Now this is an outlier. Now see, I'm just trying to play with the numbers and I'm just trying to clear out the concepts for you. Now in this case, can you tell me now what will be the case? Now they will become outlier.
Yes.
Okay, so outliers are always the values which are lesser in number. Okay, it looks like more or less, but lot of values, if 20 lakhs will come like with 2-year experience, and then these remaining 3-4 values which are coming, they will become your outlier when you will plot a box plot. So basically outliers can affect the decision making powers when you will go for a model building. Right now we are not into the model building, but once we will go where you will understand more. I'm just trying to give you a glimpse like where outliers can affect us. So what we should do with the outliers? So what is the best way to handle outliers?
To remove them.
To remove them. That is one answer. Now another case I am putting up here. Now think, suppose I am a bank. Okay, so I am a bank, and suppose if I want to launch a product or something I want to launch, and I'm doing some analysis. Now so for me, outliers will be the people who are having the salary. So there are people usually where average salaries are almost around $10,000, $15,000. Now my banks are having also the bank accounts of these people: Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, and Mukesh Ambani, Anil Ambani. So Anil Ambani is on left hand side outlier. So now what is happening? These people will be coming up as an outlier, but are they really a non-important piece for me? For a bank, these are the most important people because they are giving a lot of money. Okay, so now whenever any interviewer is asking you what is outlier and how we should treat them, so generally you tell them, see, it again depends on application to application. Generally what happens, outliers always affect the analysis of your model. So in any case, we should always remove the outliers, but I will not say that outliers are always bad. Sometimes outliers represent a most important entities also into your data set, but depends on data to data. In banking domain, outliers are might be important. So you give an example, for example, the salaried account, the people who are having the very high range of salaried account, those people are important for me. Probably I can give them some offer or promotional offer separately. So that analysis needs to be done with respect to business. So this is where business domain understanding, business understanding comes into picture, which you will keep on learning in whichever domain you will be going. So that is how you have to answer. You have to justify your logics. Make sense or doesn't make sense?
Makes sense.
Makes sense, right? So if something doesn't make sense, then you have to ask the question. Okay, so this is all about for today's discussion I wanted to do. Any questions from your side? Otherwise I will be closing the class for today. Any questions, guys?
Hi, I am Anil.
Yes, Anil.
Sorry, sir. Actually, I am facing the same issue with the last question.
Okay.
Like last data, like a 181, then like to find the mean labs in Q1, Q2, Q3.
Okay.
That data consists of 12 numbers, right?
Right.
So actually, I'm trying to find out the Q1, Q2, and Q3. So
okay.
That 12 number is now the new data is of 13 number after finding out the median.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
Then after finding out the median, again on the left hand side, again it's a 6 value, and again in the right hand side it's a 6 value. I'm confused, like what I'm doing.
Okay, you see it on the screen. So this is basically even number data set. What I have done, I have taken middle two numbers, I have added them and divided by 2. What I got? 7.5. Now this 7.5 which I got, what I will do, I will keep it in between 7 and 8. Now once I will put it into between 7 and 8, my data set will become odd numbers. And then you can solve it.
Yeah, I understood this part. But can you please open Paint and just write 12 numbers?
Okay, tell me.
Like from 1 to 12, just write simply 1
okay,
to
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Yeah, can you please do that operation with this number?
Okay, what are the two middle numbers?
6 and 7.
6 plus 7. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 plus 7 divided by 2 is how much?
6.5.
6.5. Now my new data set will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6.5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is Q2. This is basically okay. So here also, if you are getting this problem, so here again you have to split it into the same way. You have to calculate and you have to split it. Here also you have to split it. If that is the conditions are occurring, as many as times occurring, you have to go via that condition.
Okay, thank you.
Nice thing. Okay, this I didn't catch. But then I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, in these kind of cases, you have to go with that kind of solutions. So see, now best thing is about the analytics is you don't have to worry about the manual calculations, guys. everything, each and everything will be available readily in one shot for you into the packages, even for each and everything. So you have to just run the package and you have to just give it. And these kind of questions, even your interviewer doesn't ask. These are very, very means corner cases kind of questions. So don't worry about that. But as a conceptual thing, as a procedure wise, you should know how you can calculate manually, because sometimes some people ask it. So will be helpful for you in those cases. So that's the thing. And another thing, one more thing I remember that I want to discuss. So suppose I have given you one data set. Okay, some data set is there, CSV file, or some columns are there, C1, C2 and C3, some columns are there. Now I want to find out that if this column is having the effect of outlier or not. How you can identify by seeing the 5-number summary. Okay, I'll tell you, because now what happens if you have checked the describe function. So what all things describe function gives you? Actually, describe function gives you these many things. So basically it is 5-number summary, but it gives you 7 things. 2 things are not useful for us. But what is one thing, sometimes if quickly I want to see if there is a effect of mean outliers into my data set, then you just go and check what are the values you are getting Q3, Q2 and mean. If Q2 and mean are same, Q2 is equal to mean, or Q2 is not equal to mean. So what these 2 conditions represent?
Mean is equal to median and mean is not equal to median.
Okay, nice. So what they represent? If they are equal, what they represent? In which
Because
case
no
I can
outliers. No
so
outliers.
I can say in this case no outliers. Correct?
Data is normally distributed.
Normally distributed. Correct. So I'm not
Please
going on to
repeat,
that
please repeat.
terminology today,
Yeah.
because we have not discussed normal distribution, but correct answer. So and if Q2 is not equal to mean, then what we can say? There are outliers.
Yeah.
Correct? That's the logic. So basically 5, 5, 5, 5. So in this case, what will happen? Mean will be equal to median. But if I'll add 1000, then they will not be equal. So by just quickly seeing these statistics metrics, you can just identify if there is a effect of outlier into your data or not. So that is also one trick, just I remember, so I told you. So it's a simple trick. You don't need it. Basically, you can directly plot box plots and you can see, but just a trick if somebody wants to use it sometime. So that's the thing. So yeah, so that's all for today's class from my side, and we will connect back tomorrow if you don't have any questions.
Thank you.
I'll upload the data, slides, and everything onto the drives. I think for you, shared drives has not. So that shared drive has not been shared with me. So once Abhishek will share the shared drive, I'll upload this data. Now, because we are into the weekday mode, so what I suggest, every weekend, Saturday, Sunday, whatever we have studied for the 5 days, go through it, read it, so you will be comfortable, because now what will happen, each and every concept is somehow related to the previous concepts. Okay, so my suggestion is you keep on studying, and then you will not feel the load and burden. Data science is very easy if you understand the concepts, and if you will follow it into an order. It's more easier than data structure, C programming and Java programming kind of things. They are so difficult if you will compare it with data science. But the only requirement here is you should not wait like, okay, after 10 days I'll start learning. From the day one when we have covered up the concepts, start doing it. And going further, I'll be also telling you the real-time use case studies from the company, whatever is my personal experience into analytics, whatever our students from LearnBay has achieved and how they achieved, all those things we will be keep on discussing. So I hope today's class was good, and lot of people know lot of things already. which is a good part for me, which is a bad part for the people who doesn't know, for them who are coming first time into statistics. But my only request is, if you guys are having the issue in understanding, please let me know. I'll try to explain in that way. So thanks.